Hello and welcome to MG Tracy. Now, for about 8 years, amazingly, I've had the same HP printer, and like many of you, I found the cost of ink was challenging. I did find and tried compatibles, they didn't work for me, so the cheapest option ended up being HP Instant Ink. Let me tell you a bit about this and how I found this system. So the idea behind Instant Ink is basically your printer is set up with its own email address, and when it senses it needs or is going to need a particular colour, it'll order those cartridges well in advance of you. So you tend to end up with some spares here, and then they're topped up. So the idea is that you never run out of ink. You have to make sure you select the correct level. I'm on one of the top ones, which is 500 pages a month. And any you don't use, they just get rolled over, and it will store up to 3 months worth of those. So one of the really important things is make sure you have some idea of how much you want to print. If you overprint, it gets expensive. If you underprint, then you're wasting money. Now, one of the key things to remember about this is if you are printing an A4 photo, right, which uses say 10 times as much ink as when I print an eBay label in the quarter of an A4 sheet in black and white, that's still one sheet. So you can do 500 A4 photographs in the top resolution of your printer. It's going to cost the same as printing a few barcodes as well. So that works for some people and doesn't for others. So I've got an Offichet Pro 8725, and I have had for an amazing 8 years. And for me, it's brilliant. It's a double-sided colour photocopier, and it does huge amounts of printing up to various quality small size photographs, so it works very well for me. You will also find here at Packard will now offer you the option of adding in for an extra cost the paper that can be delivered each week. To me, financially, that one doesn't seem to be a good idea. It's just cheaper to get the paper yourself and bring it home. You may find when you go into this system that you'll get a different type of cartridge, and bear in mind that if you decide to come out of this system and think, oh, I've got 4 full cartridges, when you come out of the system and your monthly subscription ends, they will just be jammed. They won't work at all. You just have to throw them away and start again. So don't try and be clever with the system and think you can buck the system, join for a month and then come off. That won't work. Now, how I run the system is I have a box of cartridges that I've been sent. They come each month, and I've got some spares there. I've got the box that's just arrived, have a look at that in a minute, and then I've got another box here which has got the cartridges that are waiting to be recycled. And it's very easy with cartridges of this size to tell when they're empty, because they're very light. Now, you can't refill those yourself, you can't sell them on eBay. They are a specific cartridge that only works with the Instant Ink system, which is by subscription. So often every other month I get a pack like this, and in this one, and it does vary depending on what you've been printing, I've obviously got a black, I've got cyan, magenta, and I've got a yellow. And in the bottom of the box there, you'll find you've got a free post recycling envelope. So this goes from the UK back to France, this one. And that's when I will now take my empty ones that I've stored and I'll mail them back. And you get an envelope each time a delivery comes. So that's quite good for the planet, you're reusing those. And then you've got some bits of paper here, basically telling you just how brilliant the system is. Now, I think things to remember, you are going to save money, perhaps over 50%, and you never have to worry about running out of ink. For me, that's a big thing, really. If you cancel it, remember, it's not straightforward. Even if you've got lots of ink left over, those cartridges aren't going to work. Think really, what level do you want here? So on the screen here, you can see the different current options in the UK. They vary around the world, but there's normally 3 or 4 levels. Think, does the paper work for you? Financially, for me, it doesn't. First month is free, but it just doesn't work. It's too much, the cost of sending out reams of paper. You've got to remember to leave your printer on as well, because it's recording how much you've used. And there is a really good app I'll put some screenshots up now. A really good app that goes with this, and this shows you your print history. It shows you if you've got cartridges en route, how much of your monthly allowance you've used, and whether you've used any of your rollover. So I'm on 500 a month, and last month I did more than that, so I used some of my rollover. Probably going to be the same again this month. So there we are, that's HP Instant Ink. I've not been incentivised or motivated in any way, just in case you're worried. This just ends up being the cheapest, most convenient format for me. If you are going to be out of the country or not using a printer for a while, you'll find there is a pause option that you can use so you don't end up wasting months of subscription. But also it's pretty easy if you do update your printer or have more than one printer to update your subscription to take account of that. So I hope you find that useful. I have found this system, it takes a lot of the heartache out of suddenly finding you want to print something at 10 o'clock at night and you've got no ink. So yeah, Tracy thought it was hilarious that the printer was receiving and sending more emails than I was in the beginning, but there we are, printer's much more popular than me. Please like, share and subscribe, and come back every day for a lot more fun here on MG Tracy. This is Paul from London, I'll see you in the next video. Cheerio, and cheerio from my cartridges.